the winner of this will be facing off Paper X, and DFM did beat Paper X rather in a very close overtime match against them on Split with one different player. Global Esports in the meantime, also 2 times they've showed it this tournament, and it was dominant against Talon and Secret.
I don't think they're worried about map 2. I think they're able to reset nicely knowing that they're going into Split. This is exactly what they did against Team Secret. This Split comp for them has looked very, very comfortable with this double Sentinel. It's clearly a style that really suits them and that they enjoy playing. So I think they're going to feel good about Split. DFM is a little bit more of an unknown, so we need to see what kind of things they come out with. But I don't think GE are going to be too phased. They're going to be looking to push this all the way to map 3.
I'm a little worried though. I think this is why I said the map pool concerns me when I saw the veto of this, because it doesn't feel like a free win. Exactly like you said, Vic, it feels like DFM can play this map if they can beat PRX on it. PRX have played Split for the longest time, so if you're beating them in the off-season, if they play to their ceiling, they should be pretty comfortable. And I think stylistically, it's almost kind of similar comps with different approaches for DFM. They're also playing the double Sentinel single init, just a different take on it with the Sky as well as the Vice Cypher, I think it is.
Yeah, I also think it's worth noting that we just spoke about how well prepared they were for the Chamber. So I think they've clearly put a lot of work into the ante, and they kind of understand how GE want to play. So GE have shown this comp twice now, so they've shown a lot more material than the DFM have shown on this map, having not played it in Kickoff. So again, what are the answers? How are you going to approach this double Sentinel? What's your counter going to be? What's your composition going to be to counter it? And that's where the coaching staff of DFM it's your time to shine now. So yeah, let's see what you got.
I have to say, when it comes to Japanese teams, Korean teams too, to an extent, but Japanese teams are masters of anti-stratting. That seems to be their approach to a lot of the matches here in Pacific. Now, we were talking about the Vice. And it's similar composition, probably similar in the approach, but do you think it'll be a big difference in their choice of Sentinels? Deadlock versus Vice?
Yeah, I think they're both kind of those like trap play kind of Sentinels, although the Vice is a bit more of a traditional Senti, whereas the Deadlock I feel like is kind of a supplemental Senti in a way to the Cypher, where, it is kind of the agent that makes your post plant stronger, as well as making it harder for the other team to just hard hit you. I think the biggest difference for me is really the choice of controller, actually. Astra versus Omen. The Omen does a lot of nice plays that you can do with the Paranoia, as well as the movement on Split. You can act as a bit more of a second entry than the Astra that's going to be a lot slower on the side of GE.
Yeah, in that controller matchup, we view the Omen to be a little bit more aggressive. The way you're able to Paranoia to kind of control that space, you TP as well, so you have this almost pseudo entry capability, where Astra fits the opposite side of that, where you're playing a lot more like a Sentinel. You're allowed to lurk a lot more. You don't really want to be lurking on Omen, so you can use that Paranoia, but on Astra you're free to go wherever you want, and you're also like you don't mind anchoring a little bit more, staying, not rotating as fast. We see the Omen anchor too, but I think Astra is a little bit better at it, so it's just a stylistic difference, really.
Well, just a stylistic difference, but only one of these teams are going to continue on to face Paper X in the lower brackets, and one of the teams are going to have to go home, so they're going to have to find something a little bit more than a stylistic difference here. How are you guys feeling about your predictions? Because
like I said, with the map pool, it's shaky. My big issue for GE in the last map, and it was the same thing in their opening series, the individuals didn't show up to the game, and they need that bounce back. We saw Crystal on the second map Split. He just came out of the gates firing on all cylinders.
And how are you feeling, big time?
I'm feeling okay. I feel like Split has been a good map for GE. I think they're going to push it all the way to map 3, and then Lotus is a different question amongst itself, but we have to cross that bridge first. We have to get there first.
Well, we like 3 mappers here in Kickoff, so it might be the case. Are we having much
No changes. Both teams backing themselves with the last comp that they played, especially on the side of DFM. They get to start out nice and comfy on that defense with their double Senti. They know how GE have had to start on attack. They are the team that have had to pick this and start attack with this double Senti style a lot of the time. So we'll see if GE are going to be allowed to get away with some of the things that they were doing. They really do like those A executes and just getting into those really strong post plants.
Yeah, the Deadlock is a Sentinel. Like, we talk about it as a Sentinel, but it's almost a Sentinel initiator hybrid.